Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast dedicated to helping you discover great wines with great value for every occasion. On this episode, we review
Poema Brut Cava.
Hey, here it is, the last episode of 2025, and we are ending with a sparkling wine, of course.
Very
Of
appropriate.
course.
Have to.
Yeah.
Have to.
Yeah.
And
I
with
guess-
Cava too. I mean, if we're gonna end on one, Cava is
That's
a
fun.
great non-champagne sparkler. So super
Right?
excited about
I'm
that.
proud of us. That I think aligns with what we've been trying to do all year. Not fall into the same rut as everyone else. Do something a little bit different and cheaper.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. How about 2025 being pretty much a wrap? What?
I mean,
Crazy.
it was such a great year. There were really no problems at all. There was no conflict. I feel like it was the closest we've been to world peace in our lifetime. So that was nice.
All right, before we go down
And
that
I'm
rabbit hole,
crying.
moving on.
Let's
Hey,
drink
wine is
more.
good, huh?
yeah.
Wine had a
Over
great
here.
year. They had no problems in the industry at all.
Oh, God.
There was
Man.
not a study that came out about how alcohol shortens your lives or about how the wine industry is in the toilet.
A slightly
Again,
shorter
moving
life
on.
with good wine. Much better than a slightly longer life with no wine. Come on.
Preach.
Come
Love that.
on.
And I
Joel,
think
Joel gets it.
we have proven on the show that life continues with wine and that wine has a new life with us.
Wow. That was beautiful.
I don't know what that was. I think I just had a stroke.
If you go back and think about it, it really doesn't make sense. But if you just
This
take it
is
at face
pretty.
value, it's beautiful.
I was gonna say I'm confused as hell right now. So if you guys got something out of that, good on you. Good on you.
You
'Cause
just
I
see that
am.
on a pillow at TJ Maxx. All right.
Maybe.
So, I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to drink this wine. I'm also excited to do a little bit of reflecting this year with you two. So let's start off there. I mean, it was a long year. I was looking
Yep.
at all the episodes we did. We drank a lot of different wine this year.
We did.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
crazy. Different styles, different countries. I think we did a really good job exploring a breadth of wine from around the world. So it's been a really cool year in that sense. Just we've done so much exploring.
Yeah. So can I ask if you had to pick your favorite wine from this year or one of your favorite wines? There was a lot of really good wine. Does anything
Yeah.
stand out
That's
to you? Were there
hard.
any wines this year that if you had to go back and grab it again, you were just like, yeah, this was it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if I could go back and grab it, the Vic was incredible.
Yeah, of
I don't
course.
think we could have this conversation
Yeah.
without talking about the Vic.
Totally.
Definitely a special occasion wine, not one that I could easily go pick up, but that one
Without
was
getting in trouble.
incredible.
Yeah.
But I also kind of fell in love with a category, and that's sweet wine and dessert wine. I was so shocked by not only the different wines that we had, but they all offered a little bit something different. We had the Wagner Vineyards Ice Riesling, we had the Chateau Mayor Tokai, the two ports, which for somebody who's not a port guy kind of blew my mind. So I think just going through that experience really opened my mind to just being more open to that category, because before I was like, sweet wine, not that into it, but I'm into it now, baby. Sign me up.
Yeah.
And I think that really helped me too, going like when we went to the Hawksmoor and he brought by the Royalty Kai.
Yeah.
And now
It's awesome.
also having it within the experience of just a really nice big meal and then ending with that. I had a little bit more of an appreciation for the purpose of that wine as well.
Yeah.
100%.
Definitely.
Yeah.
For
What about
the
you, Joel?
purpose and for the just the breadth of what they're doing with
Yeah.
those wines too. I never knew there was so much nuance to it, Well, what's funny, Colin was talking about if he could go back and get the Vic, he would do that. What popped into my head, because I went back and got it so many times, was the Amastoy, the Chocolates. You guys remember those? We did
Yeah.
the two.
Totally.
Do I?
My God.
Those were great wine.
I think after that episode, I probably went and found the rosé chocolate like 5 times in the next month and a half. It was so
Well,
good.
it's
I
so
got so
unique
hooked.
and so cool
Yeah.
and so affordable, right? Like that was like a
Totally.
$20 bottle of wine. And it was just
killer wine. Just
Yeah.
freaking killer wine. The value,
For sure.
just everything about it. It's just one of those wines you just want to keep drinking. Just
Keep
sit on the
drinking.
porch, just keep drinking.
with food, drink it.
Yep.
Alone, drink it. Delicious. Yeah.
And a conversation wine, right? Like such a cool thing to bring out, especially, summertime, having that rosé and having that like really crispy, nice wine, and bringing that out with people and being like, check this out. You have never had this before. I almost guarantee it. And like having a conversation like that.
100%.
Yeah. No doubt.
What about you, Aaron?
Yeah. So I think for me, I think this year is the year that I discovered that I am a Cab Franc guy. I really expanding my wine horizons over the past couple years and just constantly going back to just how much I like Cab Franc and the El Enemigo, which was introduced to us by our friend Priscilla, and it being such a great kind of like intro wine for the night, just like one that's going to make everybody happy and really just be accessible, both from a taste standpoint and also affordability. It's like a $23 bottle of wine, and I've definitely gone back to that one. I usually have a bottle of that around my house now because it's just a good bottle of wine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and accessible, but like interesting too. Like none of the flavors were, over the top, but it definitely had some depth there. So totally accessible, but also you could give that to your intro drinker, but you could give that to a wine person, and both of them are going to find something in it. So I think that's a really cool and unique value proposition that wine brings.
So I mean, just right there, like look at these like cool, just a cool spread of wine that we just named between the three of us, like a big bold red, these really sweet, kind of wonderful dessert wines, and these really unique, like acidic. Man, I don't even know how you would describe the Amestoy. It's just like the Chocolat was just so different than white and light wines that we've had before.
For sure.
But so many cool wines this year.
We're really pushing the envelope on the grapes, right? That we're trying,
sure.
and I think we had Ushwin back on at kind of toward the beginning of the year. And I think he like set off this little light for us all, where he kept talking about the 10,000 grapes, and we were like, yeah, totally. Like, what we should be exploring some of these. And I think we did a good job of doing.
We knocked out like 12 this year, so we can. We are almost there.
A couple more to go.
At least they're like a little more obscure. We're getting more and more obscure, but still finding things that are, like accessible. People can find it and approachable. So I think we're finding that nice line between the two.
We're gonna knock out 3 tonight. I think we've had one of these before.
Yeah,
but they're definitely not on the tip of anyone's tongue who is not a deep in the wine world. So I'm excited for that.
I would agree. One of them, I'm not sure I'm going to say correctly, so I'm really excited about getting there and then having Colin correct me. So it's going to be great.
Yeah, we'll just dive in and we'll release like a cut of all your attempts. It'll be fun.
That's perfect. Sounds good.
Cool. So, at this episode, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're not going to play our normal game. We're just going to do a little bit of a year in review. We're going to thank all the folks who have been on the show because, again, going back and looking at all the wines we drank this year, we drank a ton of wines. Going back and looking at the number of people who graced us with their presence this year, it's just a ton of people hung out with us.
For sure.
And that was really exciting and cool to go back and look at. So we're going to take a moment to do have some nostalgia. Take a trip down memory lane, and that'll be nice.
Good.
But before then, it's New Year's. We have some celebratory bubbles. Joel, what are we drinking this evening?
Yes. Okay. Very excited. Our third in kind of this last series of bubbles of these last couple episodes. So we are here at the Poema Brut Cava, and this is from Penedas. And so here comes that blend, okay? Yes, yeah, Penedas, Spain. So here comes that blend. 40% Macabeo, 40% Zorello, 20%, here we go, Colin, Parellada?
Yeah,
Parellada, beautiful. All right, so 11.5% ABV, and you can find this for about $15, which is quite the price point. Yeah.
That's a great thing about Cava right there, though. Yeah, I mean, you can find expensive ones, but most of them are going to be in that, $12 to $20 range. So, I just hope this one brings what I love about Cava so much, which is, all that traditional method for less of a price.
Yeah, and I think that's been a real focus of this kind of mini series. Like, look, we know that you can go out and find a bottle of champagne if you want to go find a bottle of champagne. We're trying to help folks out that if you want to find a decent sparkling bottle of wine and not break the bank, so far we've had the Cremant, which was awesome, at the price point, just really good. Last week we had that Brut Rosé. That was like a casual sipper. It honestly didn't shine a light to the Cremant, but if you are a rosé drinker and you want sparkling rosé, great. And now that we got a Cava in front of us, and let's see how this does. Because at $15, if you're running to a party in the coming evenings and you need to grab a bottle of something, this is also widely available. I think we saw this is at Total Wine. This is at Stu Leonard for folks in the north. This is at a bunch of places. So this is widely available.
And we should probably mention, too, we spent so much time talking through just all the different methods of making sparkling wine last week. This is a traditional method wine.
Yep. As all Cava is.
Yeah. Oh, very good. As all Cava is. And, I think part of the reason, too, so this is, we're kind of building in what we would anticipate would be a little bit of that quality and that experience and all of that. And so here we are on our Brut Cava. The idea being, hey, maybe, hopefully, this is something that we might want to ring in the new year with here too. It's kind of bringing that level of quality. So that's what we're hoping to bring with this traditional method, Poema Brut Cava.
All right, let's dive in.
Tastes like wine.
And, right off the bat, say visually, last week, one of the first things we noted with the tank method is you kind of had like those bigger bubbles. Like this got lots of tiny bubbles and they're moving. So
Yes, they are.
That's exciting. Colin, what are you getting on the nose?
Yeah, so I'm getting a lot of green fruit on this one. A little bit of green apple, some pear, I think are the two big non-citrus flavors. I don't know, you guys want to jump in real quick?
Yeah, definitely. I think you called out a lot of the notes really well. I would say too, this one again, I'm sort of comparing everything to kind of our last two experiences here in my head as we go. Definitely seems like it's going to be a little bit breadier, kind of getting that sense from everything. So yeah, but I think you called it out. I think it's going to be bright, and love the green fruit call out.
Yeah, I don't have anything much to add except that it's not super aromatic. You really got to get your nose in there, and you have that brightness and the breadiness and the green fruits that Colin named, but you really got to dig for it. Like if you're not looking for it, like this isn't you're not getting wafts of scents coming out of the glass on its own. All right, let's take a sip. Joel, what you got?
Yeah, I think more of that, little more citrus than I was expecting coming through on the palate. But also at the same time, a little bit more of like a honey. There's like definitely a softness in there too. So it's really kind of interesting. It's got that brightness that I think we were all picking up when we were smelling it, but a softness in there that I kind of wasn't expecting as well.
For sure. No, soft was really a good call. And I think that has a lot to do with the mouthfeel and the way, traditional method sits on lees. It's going to add to some of that softness on the palate. So I think that's a really good call. But I think all the flavors that we talked about, I think you're right, Joel. This one is more citrusy on the palate than the nose. I think the green fruit kind of drove the nose, but the lemon really drives the palate. But you do also get that pear. I think a little bit of green apple, I think, is still there. You definitely get some of that laziness, that breadiness. It's not a star player in this wine, as even compared to the Cremant, that was considerably more lazy and bready than this is. But there's a subtle hint that adds a nice kind of background lift to this.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on that one, and I think I'm really glad you said that last part about the Cremant comparison, because that's what I was trying to work through in my brain, because there's a lot of similarities, obviously far more similarities to the Cremant than the Brut Rosé we had last week, not just because of the method in which it's made, but also I think I am not an expert on any of these grapes versus the grapes in the Cremant, but it has a really reminiscent taste to the Chenin Blanc and Chardonnay that we had with the Cremant. So, it's always kind of nice to be like, we're in a completely different place, a completely different style, a completely different price point, to get a similar experience in quality and taste. So that's kind of where I'm sitting right now. It's a very light, nice sip.
For sure. And I wasn't the other thing, since we're comparing kind of the bright acidity in here does almost have like a sour note, but I think it's evened out with some of that breadiness. Like my problem with last week's wine is it was just sour, and there wasn't anything to really cut that sourness. But this has those bready undertones, a little bit of that vanilla type deal, and I think it kind of helps even out that sourness to make a better experience overall.
All right. Anything else at all jumping out on the nose, on the palate, in your heart?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I'd say we'll come back to this in a little bit, but I'm just going to be drinking this the entire time, so I'll continue to assess it because it's a nice sip. But in the meantime, let's learn a little bit about Cava.
Time to drop some knowledge. Wine drops.
All right, so we had a couple Cavas on the show in the past. We had one a while back, and
Really
then
long
we
time
had a Cava and a Corponat next to each other, and that was really cool because, you know, as a reminder, Corponat's kind of a more elite region within
So good.
Cava, you know, with higher standards. The Corponat was very, very good. Shout out to Dr. Coleman for saying that our way.
It was awesome.
And so we've had two Cavas before this.
Was that 2025?
The Cava Corponat combo was, and the one before that was one of our early episodes. I think first 20 in that flowery bottle. I don't remember what that was, but
I want to raise up that Corponat as one of the ones that made an impact on me this year. That was so good.
100%.
I'm glad you mentioned
wine
it.
was outstanding.
Yeah, and well, as shouting out Dr. Coleman, shouting at the folks at the sorting table for sending that our way, driving it to you guys in Orlando and meeting me in Times Square in New York.
That was
for
sure.
cool people in the wine world.
Yep.
But yeah, so, you know, this is our third Cava on the show. But, you know, it's always great to remind folks when we say Cava, you know, what the heck are we talking about and what makes it different from Prosecco, Champagne, Cremant, whatever. So let's start off there. So, Colin, when we talk about Cava, what makes Cava a serious sparkling wine?
Yeah, and we've talked about this. You know, this is just review at this point. I hope by now, listeners, you have a pretty good idea of what makes Cava Cava beyond the grapes. But this is, of course, a traditional method sparkling wine. Again, that means the secondary fermentation or the bubbles are formed in the bottle itself, as opposed to the tank method, which we tried last week, which is going to be your Proseccos, a lot of your other sparkling wines that don't use the traditional method. And again, what makes that special? It's the texture that you get with the lees aging. It's the tiny bubbles, the mouthfeel, kind of just the whole experience is quite different than you can get with any of the other methods of making sparkling wine. So Cava and Champagne, we've talked about, are both traditional method sparkling wines, but they can taste very different. Joel, what is the main reason for that difference in taste?
Yeah, I think it's really two. And let's first acknowledge the big fact that we're talking about two completely different countries, right? I mean, we talked at one point about how a lake somewhere. Yes. Sorry, let's go back for a second. Aaron, Spain and France are two different countries. They're kind of close, but they are two different countries entirely.
Shocking.
What?
Yeah. Listen, you know, we talked about, we're joking here, but we talked about how like a lake, remember, I forget where it was, but a lake made its own little microclimate and made this really beautiful place to grow grapes, right? Like little changes in region and just kind of the impact can have a huge impact on the wine. So,
Sure.
you know, biggest thing, the grapes and just the terroir and the weather around the grapes are going to have an impact on things. In Cava, right off the bat, you tend to find grapes that are kind of, you know, represent more of kind of what we're calling out the citrusiness, the apple, things like that. So that's one big piece. And then the second big piece, it's the time, right? I feel like anytime that we're talking about differences in sparkling wine, the time that, at least when there is secondary fermentation, the time is a big impact, right? How long is this wine actually sitting on the lees? So in Champagne tends to be a little bit longer, hence you get some of those deeper kind of breadier brioche notes that you find less in Cava. So those, I would say those are kind of like the two big things. But one of the big things that we've already called out here too is Cava tends to be really dry. So Aaron, question for you, you know, how dry is Cava really when you compare it to other sparkling wines?
Well, I mean, that's a good question, because Cava is made to be in a dry style, which I think, again, like if you are a new wine drinker, or if you're someone like me who for years walked past the sparkling wine aisle and saw the word brut and went, okay, and had no idea what that meant, which I think is a larger number of people than we want to admit. Brut means dry, right? And so you will usually see cava as a dry, as brut, which means that it's going to be low sugar with a cleaner finish. And it's designed just to have that crisp flavor to it, not that sticky, sweet flavor that you might get in some Prosecco's, or it's just some other cheaper sparkling wines. So the dryness and the crispness is an important aspect of the style of cava itself. So with that being said, Colin, what else should someone expect when they pour a glass of cava?
Yeah, sure. And I think what you guys just talked about kind of leads to what's in the glass. And, you can expect really nice, bright acidity, the fine bubbles we talked about from the traditional method. A lot of the flavors I think we nailed going through green apple, lemon, pear. I mean, there's definitely some of that in here. There can be some of the more quality versions can show a little bit of an herbal or almond note. I'm not getting too much herbs on this or too much nuts. So,
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, for sure. And
I
not
don't
to
want
say
nuts in
that,
my wine.
okay, I mean, roll right past that. And all of that to say, this keeps a nice, dry, clean finish while making the wine refreshing and easy to drink, which is one of the main things I love about cava. You can just drink a ton of it. And you can drink a ton of it because it has quite the reputation for value. Joel, why does cava generally have a great reputation as a value sparkler?
Man, I don't want to always talk about champagne when we are drinking a sparkling wine, but I think to answer this question, we have to acknowledge that that's really the reason why, right? Anything that falls outside of that champagne umbrella is already kind of automatically going to lose some kind of a premium value that should or should not exist in the first place, right? And that's what's happening in cava. It's people who love making wine and making it quality and doing it in the right way, always doing the traditional method, and spending the time that it takes to make a good quality sparkling wine. It's just happening in Spain, not in France, not in Champagne. So you lose that big name and you keep the quality, and that's how you end up with something that's such a great value proposition, like cava. That's really what it comes down to.
And I'm glad you mentioned quality, because usually you can see a price tag of like $13, $15, and be terrified that wine might not be great, which is completely understandable. We've had plenty of wines in that range that have been terrible. But cava does deliver on quality, and it's just, it's a region that cares, which is a really cool thing.
Yeah.
And I've had very few bottles of cava that I haven't at least enjoyed at just like a very casual sipper level.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I've had a terrible bottle of cava, so it's a really cool region to explore because there's just tons of value.
No, I'm so glad you guys said this. I'm going to take a moment to just really land the plane for our listener. This is why it is so important to know the difference between these sparkling wine labels, right? There's so many folks who it's like sparkling wine or champagne. And then you kind of know about Prosecco. But in reality, there is this aspect of, if you look at sparkling wine and you see a $9 sparkling wine, and that's all it says, sparkling wine, it's probably not going to be good. You might see a low dollar Prosecco, and you got to be kind of weary because Prosecco has that sweet, sticky style to it to begin with. So you might end up being something that you don't love. And then we've kind of unlocked some new things with cava, with cremant, with sect, that are styles of sparkling wine that are similar to champagne, just not within the Champagne region, but also offer themselves at a much lower price point. And that's why it's so important to have that. Corpinat, oh my God, yes.
Mm-hmm. Great example. Still more expensive, but you can probably find it less than champagne. It's definitely that price tier
because it's that higher quality within cava.
That's right.
But all that being said, having that knowledge, knowing what those labels, those words mean, gives you kind of a leg up in finding higher quality sparkling wine at a lower price.
100%. And I think if we can do that, and that's one thing you guys are able to take away, then we've been successful.
One thing all year. You could have not listened to any other episodes and then listened to this
Seriously.
one, and that's the thing you take away. That's huge.
That would be amazing. Huge.
Also, go back and listen to some other episodes. It's been a good year.
They're fun.
Go back, listen.
It's a fun show. It's a
I
great show.
expect a tick up in listens after this airs.
Yes, of course.
But no, but so, look, for me personally, just know, like, when I go and buy a bottle of sparkling wine, I am now looking for Cremant. I am now looking for Cava in a way that I did not before this year. I have become better
Preach.
because of you guys. I have been changed for good. All right, so we've learned about Cava. Let's jump back in. Let's taste it again. Let's keep everything we learned about what Cava should taste like in mind while we do. And let's give it our final review.
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
All right, since I'm hosting, I get to go last. Joel, I'm going to start with you.
Sure.
Anything new jumping out to you? And if not, how you feeling about this wine?
You know, I don't think anything new jumping out, which is totally fine. I think everything that was there when we first started drinking it is still there, and it's plenty. And I think this is a really cool wine. I would say I probably tend to be a little bit more on like the bready side of things. Like I really like that in a sparkling wine. And this one is like just enough to be in there. It's not overly bready. It's a hint, but what I'm sitting here thinking about is like, I don't know that I want it to be anymore, because what this does and that balance that it finds with that cool kind of like you called out sour, I would say, you know, citrusy, acidic, and then downright sour, I think is totally fair, like you said, Colin. So, but really nicely balanced with just enough bready to make it like this, you know, kind of exciting, a little edgy kind of sip. But for you know, it's not like an incredibly elegant sip of sparkling wine, but it's fun, and I think that's really cool. So for all that, for just the experience and the cool balance that it does find, I'm making this a must share. Cava is so cool, and I think even just from the Cavas that we've tried, this is a different style of Cava, but it's one that's really awesome and one that I want to show off for sure. So sharing this one.
Holy, Colin.
Yeah, I love a lot of what you just said there, Joel, because I completely agree. And I think what does it for me, time and time again, we talked about it, is the value. This bottle of wine is $15 freaking dollars. I don't know if dollar for dollar you can match the enjoyment that I'm getting from this sparkling wine. You know, it is. I love the call on just slightly bready, which is what I think this makes a really great intro sparkler too, because a lot of people don't like that over the top breadiness. But this has just enough where you can experience it without it being the mainstay. But it has all those bright fruits. I think it's really well balanced. It's a super delicious wine. It's another one of those where I just keep drinking it every time my glass is empty. I find myself pouring more in there. So, and at $15 again, you just can't beat it. So it's a must share for me as well.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't have anything exciting or illuminating beyond what you gentlemen just said. It is tasty. It is crisp. I once again imagine myself walking around a New Year's Eve party and someone pouring this into everyone's glasses, and no one is going to sip this and be like, this isn't champagne. What is this? Like, it is bubbly, it is crisp, it is nice, and it's $15.
That's
like,
crazy.
like if you are listening to this episode on your way to work on Tuesday before New Year's, and you're like, just is my last day of work for the holiday, I need to grab a bottle before I go to the party. Like, grab this. It's everywhere. It is super affordable, and it's really nice. Yeah. Like, it is absolute must share.
Has anyone mentioned yet that it's $15? Because that's
You know, it actually might
Boy,
be
oh boy.
$14 in some places. It is really cheap, but
It's
cheap
worth
sounds
mentioning
like
again.
a mean word. It is a nice bottle of wine. It is an affordable bottle of wine. It is a high quality, high value.
I talk about, you know, opening a bottle of wine on a random Tuesday. This is Tuesday night sparkling wine. You know, like, this is just buy a case of this and just like chill it and just open it when you want sparkling wine, because it's just that much. Joel, you said it, fun. This is just a super fun, interesting
I can
bottle
only
for
guess, but probably the
$15.
case cost of this is probably like $9 a bottle. Like if you probably,
Yeah, that's true. You
like,
get a little
oh
bit of
my
a discount.
God,
Mm-hmm.
this is a great wine to have. Oh my God,
Is a good wine.
this is a good wine. Fantastic, wonderful. All right, so absolute must share. Going to say it's not a waste of your wine. Just to
Wait
kind
a
of
second.
Fair.
whoa,
Wait a
you want to have a
second.
debate?
Now, if it
not
was
$15.
$11.95,
Yeah, God damn it. 100%. Yeah, not a waste. Must share. Very tasty, very crisp, very nice.
yeah, do it. Don't even worry about it. Just do it.
So before we do our own reflection on this year, we would be remiss not to shout out all the awesome folks who came on the show. It was so great. We learned so much, and every single person who came on the show was awesome. It's just wine
crazy.
has such a reputation of being so snooty and so snobby, and every single person that came on the show was chill and kind and fun and generous. And like, man, just going all the way back to we had James Smith on the show who brought Texas wine to us, and we were the snobs
Amazingly
there.
good.
Yeah.
We were the ones that were like Texas wine, and then
This can't be good.
Good.
It was really good.
shockingly good.
It was
shockingly
so
good.
good.
Talk about opening up your horizons.
Oh my
100%.
God. Oh my God. We were blown away. It was like an award-winning Malbec.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then we had Stephanie Franklin from Fly Wines came on, and we had just a wonderful conversation about, which I think connected with us and with Stephanie, about like breaking into a scene that hasn't always been super accepting of outsiders, and Stephanie talking about like reaching out to all these like small producers and helping them kind of bring wines in, and we got to try a couple wines that I don't think we ever would have gotten to try if it wasn't for Stephanie saying them our way.
And I love that she just decided to do it. That was one of the coolest things about the
That's-
conversation too. She was just like, "Oh, well, you know,
Yep.
it's COVID.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. We're going to make
And
it
just
happen." And she
following.
did. That's so cool. Yep. Love that.
And then shortly after that, we unlocked one of our unofficial co-hosts on the show, Dr. Jeffrey K. Coleman.
It's been too long.
Just
Dr.
has
Coleman.
came on the show
Yeah.
twice this year.
Yeah.
Bringing Corponat our way, Cava our way, and then introducing us to the Amestoy.
Yeah. Exactly. He introduced one of my favorites
Just
to
Spanish
us.
wine.
Yeah.
Coming our way.
Talk about a guy who's 100% on just saying absolute bangers. You know, like dude just knows his wine.
Yeah. I think every
time he's come on, it's a wine fridge, right?
wine fridge wine. Yep. Wine fridge
Yeah.
wine every time he's come on.
So good.
Incredible.
And he knows open invitation anytime we do a Spanish wine. He is our in-house expert. He doesn't know he's in
He
house.
wants to hang
He is
out.
in house.
Yeah. Totally. Can I throw one other person into that esteemed category too? One of our, couple of returners here, Ushwin. We got to talk about Ushwin too.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God,
for
yeah.
sure.
Always
100%.
amazing when he comes on the show. Another one where has that been a wine fridge every time? Almost, maybe. I think it should have been a wine fridge every time.
It should have
But,
been. You're right.
yeah,
We all
bringing
messed
in
up
Georgian
the
wine
first time.
and just like
For sure.
The Gavalis Posta, that amazing white blend that he brought from Greece, was incredible. I mean, that
So
I still
good.
think about that one.
So good. And just all the cool things he's doing with the Unpinned Wine Club and the, still doing the education and all that good stuff. He's got so much cool stuff going on. I love anytime that he comes on and teaches us some things and introduces us to new grapes and all that good stuff. Always so fun.
Yep. Speaking of new things, we have to bring up Priscilla, who introduced us to the idea of the soldier. Right?
Yes.
What a cool idea, putting out that wine to kind of test the room, see how everybody else is feeling about wine that evening. It just
who gets to the next level? Who gets to the
that's
second round?
We should
So
say
smart.
real quick, listener, if you didn't listen to that episode, go back, let's do it. So much fun. But her whole idea was she saves the good stuff for the second or third round of wine. She puts the, more reasonable, easier to find, better.
But good. Her El Enemigo, which was
Still
a good
great.
and
Absolutely
affordable
fantastic.
bottle of wine to put out.
But then she sees if you appreciate that one, maybe she invites you into the next bottle, next level up, and shares a little bit more interesting, a little more pricey, and goes from there. Great idea. I love it.
100%.
And I gotta say, when I was thinking about at the very beginning, we had to catch ourselves with the crapping on the Texas wine for no good reason. We had Steve from New Jersey Stomps the Grape came on, bringing the New Jersey wine,
Yeah.
which was also just fantastic wine. And
It
according
was.
to were so
Yeah.
skeptical.
Yeah,
I live in New
absolutely.
Jersey, so I'm not
I
allowed to be
was.
skeptical.
Yeah.
You two were so skeptical of drinking a New Jersey wine, and it was
Yeah.
delicious.
it was
And
surprisingly.
Steve's just a cool dude. What a cool dude to just talk with and hang out with. It was a really enjoyable conversation, just chilling.
That's a guy I would love to have back on. I would like for him to become a regular. And
Yeah, let's do some more Jersey wine.
let's do some more
Let's
Jersey
do it.
wine. Let's have Steve back on.
I was saying, shout out to Cedar Rose, their Silica, which was the wine that we drank that night, and it was
Very good.
Outstanding.
wonderful. And they sent it our way.
I love it. I love it. Let's make him a series regular. And then earlier, boy, when we were talking about Dr. Coleman and we were talking about Ushwin coming back, how could we forget our buddy Adam Wolf from Byron Blatty and Saffron Fields?
Taking up the West Coast.
Yeah, taking over the West Coast. Is
For
more like it.
sure. Are there any vineyards in like Vancouver? Because he's just working his way up there. So watch out, Seattle and Vancouver. He's coming for you. But so cool. Such
Once
a
again,
awesome.
cool.
He's so
Being
funny. I
snobby
get
LA wine,
nervous
so
whenever
good.
he comes on because he's funnier than I am, and I don't
It's a problem.
like
Problem for you.
that.
Problem
Adam,
for you. Yeah.
back off.
And also, that Saffron Fields that we had,
So
that was
good.
their intro level. So good. I want to
Yeah.
see what the rest of that portfolio looks like because
No doubt.
that wine was outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean, incredible. And also the Tanat was also like one of my top wines for the year from Byron Blatty. And again, like
Great
fully
wine.
made in LA. Not
Yeah.
imported from the
Crazy.
surrounding wine regions, like made in LA. And that was again just there's shockers in every region.
Yeah, and we've been talking about new experiences. How about me liking natural wine? We can't,
yeah.
Antonin
Man.
Bonnet from Pierre and Antonin.
So
That
cool.
wine
Yeah,
blew my mind. Total
Yeah.
category changer for me.
Just broke you.
for sure.
You're like, you can't say you don't like natural wine anymore. You have to say very specifically that you don't like natural wine that has X, because now you have natural wine that you like.
That's
Mm-hmm.
right. That's right.
And small spoiler, we have one of their orange wine coming up in the next month or so.
I can't
Love
wait.
that. You know what else I loved about that interview too was he had a whole they host people at their vineyard. He had a whole
Can't wait.
dining room of people hanging out waiting to have like a dinner, and he was just so focused on us. He was so gracious with his time and was like, gave a little hint like, oh, I do have people waiting sort of a thing, but he was so cool. And then, I loved that. I hope they had a wonderful dinner after he was talking to us. I'm sure they did.
And man, I can't help but thinking like we did not have like so many folks on the show who were just old school, just like traditional wines. Because the next person popping in our minds, like we had Ellen Leonez
Yeah.
with the wine console who came
Yeah.
in with Croatian wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was going to be one of the wines I almost talked about too. That Plavak Mali, such a cool.
So
It was so
good.
good. It was so good.
Yeah.
Bottle of wine I never would have picked up. I wouldn't be in that aisle
Yeah,
at the wine shop.
There probably
sure.
isn't that aisle at the wine shop.
There is a
depending
in my
upon where
Total
you
Wine.
go.
There is a very small sign,
Yeah.
one sign. It's like Croatian. It says slash. I think there's 4 other countries listed. And
For sure.
it's right there, and it was
Her
so
knowledge
good.
of Croatian wine was incredible.
My God.
The depth of knowledge she had on a country that I had never had a grape from was
no doubt.
amazing.
Amazing,
Yep.
absolutely amazing.
Can we talk about people who inspired me to think, what am I doing with my 9 to 5? Nat, when she came in and hung out with us and was telling us all
Nat
about just
Singletary,
the Why Not Sky Bar.
So cool.
Just that living that life, how cool that was. She was so cool. The wine she brought in was so fun. And then just got me thinking, by the way, that bar too. I've gone back and looked at pictures of that bar overlooking.
They do so much cool stuff.
They do so much cool
So
stuff.
much
Do you
cool stuff.
Follow them still on watch their socials.
Absolutely.
So cool. And it just got me thinking, man, it must be so fun and so challenging and weird, but ultimately fun to own a bar, like a wine bar, a cool wine bar.
I mean, like so many brave folks on our show who just kind of like just made the leap, like felt passionate about something and just
Totally
did it. Like Moona
Yeah.
Chowdhury,
yeah.
who talked about the Windian girl, who
Yes.
talked about leaving kind of the expectations of her family in India and moving to France, moving to Burgundy, and like following her passion to be a sommelier and entering a, let's be real, a very gate-kept community that is tough to get into as a woman enough, but as a woman of color, like she's had to work so hard, and just to hear her story was awesome, and have her come on and talk to us
For sure.
What an
Really.
absolute inspiration.
Totally.
How about some other experts we've had on the show? Noah Chichester from the Wines of Galicia. I mean, man, talk about just packed with information. You know, he really led us down a really cool path of the Galician wines. Albarino, you know, which in my opinion is much try always, you know, definitely somebody, if you want to learn more about Galicia, you got to go check out his stuff.
And if you Google
For
a name, you can find a video of him singing out his window during COVID, because he was also a voice major.
Like you.
Yes. And it's a
my
wonderful
God.
video, Noah. I found it.
That's awesome. I have not seen it yet. I love that. I love that. You know who pops into my head too? There's two people who I think really were focusing on making wine like really fun too, and in two different ways. One person is Paige Comrie from Wine with Paige. So fun. It was fun doing a little, you know, we did
Mulled wine.
the Witch's
So
Brew.
good. Yeah.
You know,
I wasn't there for that.
I know you weren't. This is
And
the
it was
first
such a
episode
fun
we've ever
episode.
done
It was
without
actually
Colin.
weirdly the funnest episode we've ever done.
Yeah, wow,
For
okay.
some
so
unknown
nice.
reason. It was so
just really
lighthearted.
good. Just flowed so well. I don't know. It was weird.
Okay,
But no, it was fun hanging out with her too, and just like it was cool going into one and you know not taking it so seriously. Sorry to anybody from the Witches Brew group. You know, it was just it was you know very
Wine
light.
you could drink at any
That's not
temperature
offensive.
is
Exactly.
unique.
But that was so much fun. And then also, I keep thinking about Antonio Mata as well from Bom Dia and the amazing bubbles that they are making. We had it in a bottle. We had it in a can when Colin and I came to visit you, Aaron, in New York. We bought the
that's right.
cans and we're drinking them on the train to New Jersey. That was so much fun and so cool to be drinking such a great, you know, can of bubbles. That was so fun.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then how about the heavy hitters of wine? I mean, goddamn, the Vigna.
Oh yeah, come on.
I mean that bottle of wine was incredible, and Daley Brennan was the coolest guy to talk about that. I mean, they found a winner with him because
For sure.
he's just knowledgeable, he's funny, he's insightful. It was just such a wonderful conversation, and the wine was
And so
next
generous.
level.
I remember when
100%.
those bottles arrived at our places, and I like texted you guys. I'm like, he just sent us 100-point bottle of wine.
Yeah.
He just sent us like their flagship, like excellent wine, and you guys were like,
Absolutely.
oh, and then we're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, oh wow,
Yeah, we didn't believe
super
you.
generous, so kind, and just a delicious bottle of wine. And I'm excited to like try, you know, up
100%.
and down the ladder because I know what they can achieve there, and they also have, you know, wines at different price points, which is really cool.
Oh, yeah.
And I think last but certainly not least on our list is we had Lucrezia Povero from Cantina Povero, and
Talk about
who
generous.
sent us, oh my God, just their
Unbelievable.
Nebbiolo wines up and down the spectrum. We had their base Nebbiolo, we had Barolo, we had Barbaresco, and we got to drink them all next to each other, which was such
So cool.
an eye opener. And she was so much fun and so patient as all of our technology died and broke repeatedly while she was on our show.
Yeah.
And
no,
let's
she
talk
was
about,
awesome.
I mean, we got to drink Cantina Povero with Lucrezia Povero, who had sent us these amazing bottles. of wine.
Yeah, that's
How
amazing.
Cool. How gracious, not only of the wine, but also with her time to hang out with us and to talk a little bit about her family's, you know, heritage and this amazing
Dad,
wine
her
that they make. It
grandpa,
was
and, like,
so
just-
cool. Yeah.
So many, you know, grandfather was still waking up and walking around the vineyards and just amazing, just amazing stuff.
We had a good year,
Every
guys.
single person that came on the
Great
show
wine.
that was like associated with vineyards was like, "Come visit us,
Yeah.
come visit us,
We've
come
got some
stay,
visiting
I'll
to
cook you
do.
food." My God,
Yeah.
like
But the through line here is all amazing people.
Yeah.
All generous people, great people. You know, I think it really turns the idea of the wine industry and the people who are in the wine industry on its head. You know, there's no pretense with any of these
For
people.
sure.
They're all just fun people trying to love the fun beverage that is wine, and we really appreciate every single one of them for coming on the show.
Definitely.
Absolutely. And can I say so? So I wanted to end us today with a quick question for both of you, and I hope you don't mind. I actually want to jump in to start because Colin, what you just said really just struck something with me. I wanted to ask, like, as we go into a new year, what is the one thing that you really want to make sure we nail as a podcast moving into the new year? What's our must share of our practices, and what's the one thing that we want to what's the one thing we want to drain? What's our drain wine? What's our drain practice? And I want to say, like, one thing that I absolutely want to, I must do is I want to keep trying new wines from new places, and I want to talk to a lot of people because the more people we talk to, just the cooler and actually smaller the community seems. Like everyone's just kind of so excited to talk and connect.
Sure.
And the thing that I want to drain is the snobbery of wine. I want to crush it. I think the people who are snobby about wine, the people that want to make wine elite, are really killing it. And everyone we talk to has just demonstrated that is not the vibe of the people who are doing the work, the people in the industry. And I want to make sure that as we go into this next year, like, we are removing the snobbery from wine completely.
I love it.
What about you guys?
Completely. From the entire industry, from all of it.
I am single-handedly going to take
move.
the snobbery.
We're going to do it, baby.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it. It's the best damn wine show there is.
That's right. Listen, here's what I want to share this year coming up. I think sort of along the lines of what you were talking about, Aaron, talking to people, definitely. But I think the thing that I really, really want to do is I'm looking back on this list of amazing people we've spoken to. I think I want to get a little bit more into just like the experience of what they have done. We talk about, what was your wine journey a little bit, and then we talk about, oh, tell me about the wine, blah, 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 which we have to do. But I think what I want to do too is get a level deeper, like, what's something that shocked you the most about starting, a wine bar, about being the third generation of winemakers on your vineyard. Like, what's something that people wouldn't notice or, expect to hear, something like that. So I want to kind of like continue down the path that we're doing where we're learning about the winemaking process and all that good stuff. And I want to get inside of the head and maybe figure out why, there is so much love in there. Where does that come from? Let's examine that a little bit. Because I think there's a lot of cool stories in there that we can uncover. So that's going to be my share. The thing I'm going to drain this year, not knowing how to pronounce some words.
Oh,
I feel like
that's
hit
great.
it hard with confidence.
hit it hard with here it's that, but it's also respecting the again, the people that come on here. I want to know names well. I want to know grapes well. I want to know regions well.
Yeah.
And I think for the listener at home, like, it's okay to not know what the right pronunciation is for something, but I don't think it's okay to not seek out the answer and try to learn it. Right. So, it's asking the questions, it's doing the research. It is what it is, whatever gets you to that answer. So I think that's going to be something that I'm going to drain. It's going to be, not really respecting the craft enough to know the right pronunciation of things.
Colin, bring us home.
Yeah, I think for my must share, we've talked a lot about the other 10,000 grapes. I want to keep exploring. We've still, after 2.5 years, we've only scratched the surface of the entire world of wine. So there's
like
so
a
much
pretty
more.
good 50.
Yeah, I mean 50. Yeah, but like
Better than a one.
Yeah,
When most people have 10 their whole lives.
100%, but not even grapes, regions, countries. There's still normal grapes. We haven't tried Gruner Veltliner once, which is that's a pretty normal grape. We just haven't tried it, So I'd love to keep exploring the old and the new because, as I said, there's still a lot just even regular wine stuff that we haven't quite gotten to yet. So I think it's really exciting what next year can be from that aspect. And what I want to drain, if we could just keep these recordings to under an hour, my job editing would be so much better. It'd be so much easier.
No.
I just want to, maybe drain the extended recording.
We're at an hour and 13 right now.
Hour
That's our
13.
second recording.
And you will hear 45 minutes of this tops.
And that's a
Well,
little too long.
Here's my approach to this. We just lob everything we can at you. We just throw it all at you. Take a couple hours, throw it all there, and then we trust you to edit it down to something
Because we love you.
good. Exactly.
Which I appreciate, and I hope that comes out as the final product. But
It does.
you
It
know,
does. And
I'd
thank you
love
for
to
the
get an
hours
hour.
that you spent.
Love to get an hour back.
Okay. All right. We
All
can
right,
work on
gentlemen.
that. I got you.
That being said, we did it. We have a
did.
delightful must-share bottle of cava here from Poema. It's their Brut Cava. You can find it almost anywhere. $15. Absolute must-share. Grab it if you need a sparkling wine. Shout out again to all the folks who come on the show this year. And gentlemen, cheers to you. This is 2.5 years in at this point.
Pretty cool.
Crazy.
And the end of our, third calendar year of recording.
Awesome.
So
Wild.
here's to another one.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Look at those little bubbles.
They're amazing. And cheers to the listener too for hanging out. If you've listened to this whole episode too, while we go down a little bit of a memory lane and just appreciation time for all the great people who have been on this show, thanks for hanging out. And just if you've listened to a couple of these episodes and you're here, we really appreciate you because that's the whole reason that we're doing it. We love it, and hope you keep coming back next year for some more fun.
Wonderful. And Colin, if people did want to keep coming back, how would they best do that?
Yeah. Let's go over it real quick. We got Instagram, Stop Wasting Your Wine. We got email, cheers, @stopwastingyourwine. We got, check us out on YouTube, smash that subscribe button, Stop Wasting Your Wine. And that's pretty much it. That's where we hang out.
All right. We have so many great big ideas. Who knows what's coming around the bend. We're super excited. And, we hope to see you next week in the year 2026.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wild. And in the meantime, just remember, stop wasting your wine.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.